Hi Empaths, welcome back to my channel and back to Journey Through the Tarot. We're talking about our week with the Ten of Pentacles and introducing the history, symbolism, and divination of the Page of Pentacles. This journey is inspired by Dirty and Divine, a transformative journey through tarot by Alice B. Grist. She spent a day with each card. We're spending a week getting a lot of our information from one of my tarot teachers, Robert M. Place, his book, The Tarot History, Symbolism, and Divination. And we're working with the Waite-Smith Symbolism in the Rider Tarot deck. Looks like this. If you need any of those items, they're available in my Amazon store, linked in the description of this video. So let's get into the week with the Ten of Pentacles. Really interesting week. I started feeling more connected to my family. I reached out to a couple members of my family who came into my mind, and one of them was my cousin, and we ended up hanging out and spending a large part of the day together. And I hadn't seen him in a really long time. Well, I had seen him when one of our uncles passed away. I think it was last year or earlier this year. And we exchanged numbers, and my family isn't really great at reaching out and getting in touch, but we can pick up like nothing, like no time at all has gone by. And so that's kind of how it was. We were just reconnecting, and I couldn't believe how much of his life I had kind of missed out on. And it was really amazing to reconnect. And I reached out to another cousin who lives like maybe a couple of minutes away. And she just kept talking about how busy she was all the time, and how this day was like the least busy, so that would probably be the best. And I was sort of like, well, don't, you know, it's okay, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to go out of your way. I know what that means when you say things like that. So I was just sort of like, okay, no worries. Interestingly, my friend who just got a dog, and as you recall from last week, you know, this card is about complete fulfillment on the material plane, family, right, connecting to animals, as the elder, the patriarch, as well as the young child are both reaching out to pet the dogs. And then a couple here. My friend was watching last week's video, and his dog came into the room. His new puppy came into the room and kind of sat near the TV, was listening to the video. I thought that was really cute. My good friend who has a few adopted dogs as well, let me know that one of her dogs has cancer right now and is suffering, and they're treating him, and it just came into the forefront how important that connection is to animals. And you know, as empaths, we really feel healed by our connection to our pets and nature. So that came up a lot this week. And my brother and his fiance were sharing photos of, now they have 2 dogs, right? Like the picture here, they have 2 dogs, and they're both white, have white fur. So they were sharing pics of them, and I love them. I feel like them, their auntie. They're so cute. And just thinking of, and doing meditations this week around joy and gratitude, and just thinking of one of the things that makes me feel that joyful, connected feeling is one of their dogs named Rocco. I just love him. He's so cute and funny. And so I think about that connection and how much fun it is to play with him. and that makes me feel connected, and just how smart he is and funny. So that came up, and my friend just shared a story of walking his dog finally without a leash. He had him in training, like classes, behavioral modification classes or something like that for dogs. And so he was walking without a leash and kind of sharing that this week. And I thought that was really nice. That was really cool. And it was sort of like, the patriarch leading the leader of the pack, coming into play. I was in Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and a lot of guest speakers did something called Own Your Future. It was this online free summit type of thing where there were guest speakers, and that was really inspiring. That made me feel really connected. At times I felt a little disconnected from that world because I had been second guessing myself as a healer and not second guessing the work, just thinking, am I equipped to deal with that, right? Am I equipped to handle all the things that come with that? And I sort of started making peace with what is, instead of feeling like my long laundry list of things that need to change before I can feel okay. I started feeling just, it's okay to be exactly where I am. It's okay that I'm questioning things. I think that's a good thing. It's okay that I'm still developing myself. It's okay that I'm not sure of my brand, that's still developing and changing. And talk about own your future, I was sort of just owning the present. I was owning the way things are now, and taking stock of all the things I have accumulated, like the courses and the trainings and the teachers. And I think when that was questioned recently, or sort of events outside of me kind of shone a spotlight on that, I had to sort of start taking stock of all the resources I have, and I sort of expanded that awareness. I think I was really tunnel visioned on what am I going through now, what am I learning now, or what have I recently learned, what am I currently studying, instead of sort of widening my vision and expanding that view to see all of the resources I have, all of the things I've studied and learned. And having conversations with my cousin, reconnecting with him this week, really helped me see that too. Talking to him and feeling like, not that it was completely welcomed. I was trying to tiptoe because I was aware that he wasn't necessarily asking me for wisdom or advice. He was just venting, right? Or talking about things he was going through. And I realized these are things I studied so that I could be of service. And so I started sharing things with him, and I don't know that they were completely welcomed or that they landed all that well, but it just sort of reminded me, it was a great reminder for me of how much I've invested in my education, even though it didn't come with a degree. So that made me feel more equipped to do the work, to not feel so hard on myself, and how I've really refined it into the things that just work. And I'm narrowing that down more and more, and getting better and better at that, particularly with remote healing work and wellness coaching or spiritual coaching, just using all the elements that I've studied. And it's a lot, and I can see how there are connections and how things sort of overlap, or this piece of the puzzle meets this piece of the puzzle. And a lot of people have made careers out of that. One of my, I guess mentor is the right word. One of my teachers, I studied IFS, an introductory IFS course with him. He figured out in his practice how EMDR and IFS, internal family systems, model of healing, fit together and close the gap on some of the things that weren't complete in each system alone as a standalone, but they came together and really completed one another. And I realized I have some knowledge and wisdom around that with some of the systems I've worked with. So just thinking about all of that made me feel a little more, it kind of sparked some inspiration and motivation there to think about that more deeply. And I just felt like reaching out and communicating with family more. I reached out to my brother and left like audio messages and just connecting more with people that way that feel like family or extended family. And so that was feeling really good. Because I was going through like a time where I was feeling pretty isolated, and I realized I was doing it to myself, and I started to be aware of how that was trauma related, like a trauma response. And so just looking at that and working on healing that, and something came to my attention this week that was really interesting around, and I thought it was connected because the earth is related to, the pentacles are related to the earth element, right? Manifesting things in the physical material world. And I came across a video by Soulful Revolution, MJ, that's her channel. And she was talking about how it is hard to fulfill your spiritual destiny here. And that is because we have a gravitational pull towards our south node. That's our comfort zone when you look at your astrological chart. And that's our comfort zone. That's what we tend to gravitate towards. That's what we're pulled to, right? And so looking at where your north node is placed and the house that it's in is what we're meant to actualize while we're here. And that is our spiritual path. And so that was just so interesting to me because my south node is in Pisces. So that's why I'm drawn to like mystical work. She said that was our past life work. Things we did in the past, that's why we're so drawn to it. And it seems like a comfort, if it's like a glove, it's comfortable, right? Pisces is transformation. It can be the artist, metaphysics, the dreamer, mystical and metaphysical study. And my north node is in Virgo. So a little more grounded, also the everyday work, making sure the details are taken care of on the physical plane. And it's in the third house, which has to do with communication, I think, and connection to others. And I tend to hermit, very Piscean, I think, too. So that just awareness was such a gift for me. And if I can find that video again, I'll link it in the description. She just put it so well, and it just hit home. And then I shared that with my friend, and he sent me a link to give me really good information around that. And I was like, wow, that's really amazing. And that's right on point time-wise with this journey, because it's about fulfillment. And that's what this card is depicting, right? it's depicting fulfillment in the material world, which is why we're here, right? That is the spiritual path. And my feeling that sense of fulfillment that we're on our mission, doing our work. And my cousin and I talked a lot about that, and it was really great to connect to him. So I want to reach out to other people that are around here, family members, and reconnect. It's weird that I've been back for years and just haven't really seen anybody. And sometimes that was my choice. Sometimes I chose a class or something that I was in, but that didn't really feel like a choice. It didn't feel like a great choice. I felt like, well, I've invested in this course, and it's not going to be a replay. I kind of have to show up. So that has happened, but and realizing that focusing on the everyday tasks will provide fulfillment for me is actually really freeing. That I don't have to have this huge mission that sometimes feels daunting, because it feels like it feels like the dream or the vision keeps moving further and further away. It's like a mirage, right? The closer I get to it, the further away it feels. It's like, that's been kind of daunting to me. But I finally feel like, wow, with the grounded wisdom, and that was part of this Own Your Future event, was like the wisdom that you've gathered on your path, and your method of delivering that information is unlike anybody else's. And of course they were selling something, so part of it was just putting that into perspective too. But it's really true. I feel like I'm good at breaking things down into practical steps and understanding, digesting wisdom and putting it out there in a way that's understandable. Maybe not throughout this series necessarily. Maybe some of the things I've talked about on this channel are a little out there, perhaps, but I definitely have a gift for digesting information and sharing it with other people. And that comes with the archetype of the sage, right? So I've had that understanding. My good friend and spiritual sister, Krista, actually shared that with me at one point, that was part of my mission, is gathering information from even subtle, the subtle energy, the information that comes with that, and sharing it as wisdom with other people. And that's the path of the sage. So that I get reminded of that from time to time. Also coming back to my roots this week, I was looking at books I had purchased about Italian witchcraft and mysticism and German mysticism, and seeing how my studies in alchemy overlap some of those things, and working with the elements, and certainly the tarot symbols, right, and the suits, how it all kind of comes together. And I rewatched part of my first video this past week of this journey. It kind of autoplayed, so I started to watch a little bit of it, and just hearing the things I was talking about. And one of the things I said I was talking about was how, when I started researching the history of the tarot, how I was interested in the fact that it was Italian art, and that since I'm Italian, it kind of connects me to my roots. And so that was really inspiring to me. And looking back at that, I definitely felt that. I feel like other things came up this week too. It does feel like everything's coming together. That's one of the things. All of the hard work I put in the past, it does feel like things are coming together. So I feel like I'm right on point with that part of the journey, setting up your legacy, being able to expand my field of awareness with all the lessons that I've processed through, reaping rewards of labor, family matters, gain riches, karmic issues coming to the forefront. Also, seeing how patterns have played out in my family, and how often my solutions are not all that dissimilar from other family members, and how they've attempted to manage or resolve those issues. It's like you don't only inherit the issue itself, you also inherit the solution and the ideas and the feelings and the kind of mental landscape around everything too. It's incredible. It kind of blows my mind how similar. I was noticing that with my cousin Troy and my brother, and how similar they were when I was reconnecting with him, and how a lot of the things that I've done to resolve family issues, family things that I've inherited, I've taken on from the family system what we would call legacy burdens. I handle them exactly the same as my dad or my grandma, and I've evolved just a little bit, like it's progressed a little bit. So I was focusing this week on progressing some of that further, just being mindful, using IFS, right? The parts working with my parts and just listening, working with the protectors, really diving deep into that training right now, because it's internal family system. I just made that connection. I know you probably already made it when I was talking about it, but the internal family system, all those parts, where all those moving parts, the external is often reflected internally, like the external family system. Like the parents have maybe a part internally. Really interesting. So I love diving deep into that work. Also, it's Mental Health Awareness Month of the month of May. And I was looking at resources provided by my work, and looking into, they offer some free sessions, and I reconnected with one of my former roommates who I was really close to, named G, and we had an amazing conversation and laughed. It was about 2.5 hours long. I was actually going to film a video with them for the Healing Conversation series, and we kind of decided it would probably be a better match to have that conversation on the podcast, the Radio Play podcast with Leah. So that's in the works. I'm not sure if that's going to actually happen or not. We're kind of in a weird hiatus period of that, but I'm excited about that. We laughed so much. That was really amazing. And again, looking back, I had a lot of my experience living in New York City, Brooklyn in particular, with G and our other roommates. And so that was so amazing to reconnect with them too. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that came into play. I think I covered pretty much everything that came up. Accept the wisdom that powers down the genetic line. Take it and wield it with pride. So also looking at, I tend to focus on the problems to be fixed. I do tend to focus there and not see the resources, not see the strengths. And I think that might be part of the exiled Virgo in me that's Earth and might be a little more critical. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, actually. And I tend to kind of not think about that, but my tendency is very Earth style. So I tend to focus and zoom in on the problems at hand, the things that need fixing, instead of seeing strengths, solutions, the positives, the wisdom, the good things. So I'm going to make that a practice and lead with that going forward as best I can. Again, practice. Practice will make perfect. So that was my experience with the 10. Let me know how you experienced the 10 of Pentacles. I hope you found some rewards in that and some fulfillment in the material world. I'm really excited now. Let's move into the page. So looking at Robert M. Place's meaning of the Page of Pentacles, the page stands in a fertile field with part of the ground plowed for planting, but he does not look at the earth solely as a source of wealth. He holds a pentacle lightly in his fingertips out in front of his gaze. He looks at it lovingly as if he were admiring its beauty. This card represents aesthetic appreciation, study, and reflection. This page is one that Pythagoras would describe as a lover of wisdom. And then what might it mean if this card came up in a spread for divinatory reasons? New energy, immature, someone wants to hold the coin and make a tangible offer, thinking for the future, inspiration point, not necessarily action. Things are percolating about how and where to give the pentacle. A youthful figure looking intently at the pentacle that hovers over his raised hands. Appreciation, study, scholarship, reflection. Another reading says news, messages, and the bringer thereof. Also rule and management. Alice B. Grist's intuitive meaning, the innocence and excitement of a new materially abundant idea. Harnessing that excitement, plowing through doubt and making initial plans, schemes, and visualizations. The dreaming and creative beginning of something you don't quite feel ready for, but that calls all the same. This page is ready to grow. He has the excitement of a child and the wiles of a teenager. He may wish to create and harvest something that the world is not quite ready for. Perhaps he has been discouraged in the past, yet his soul is ready for venture and adventure. He is ready to grow from his loins, from her womb, from the abilities that he, if nobody else, has total faith in. And that was Alice B. Grist's intuitive meaning at the end there. And then going to the Biddy Tarot and seeing Bridget's meaning. Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill development. The Page of Pentacles, like the pages of all 4 Tarot suits, brings a welcome message of new beginnings, inspiration, and the initial stages of a creative project or venture. Since Pentacles rule the material realm and correspond to the element of earth, this page symbolizes a burgeoning awareness of the value of money, wealth, possessions, career, and physical health, and how to manifest more of these material blessings. You welcome new opportunities to your material life, a new job, a new business, or a financial windfall, and wish to discover how to turn your dreams into a reality. When the Page of Pentacles appears in a tarot reading, you are tapping into your ability to manifest a personal goal or dream, and maybe in the midst of a new project such as a hobby, business venture, or the start of a new educational experience. You are excited about the possibilities and potential of what you put your mind to, knowing you can create whatever you want with focused intent and action. That said, the page does not specify the fulfillment of dreams as much as the initial motivation and energy to begin the process of turning those dreams into reality. You need to put in place clear plans for achieving your dreams and goals. Stay focused on the practical and tangible elements, keeping your feet planted on the ground and not getting carried away, always looking for the next realistic and achievable step forward. Your common sense and a pragmatic approach will lead you to a solution that works. In the quest to materialize his dreams, the Page of Pentacles is an avid student and seeks to learn the skills that will ensure his success in the long term. The Page of Pentacles often appears when you are ready to up-level your skills and learn something new so you can manifest your dreams. See this card as an invitation to take a class, continue your education, or start an apprenticeship. Even if you are already prosperous in your current field, the Page of Pentacles encourages you to try something new and discover another aspect of yourself. The more skills you bring to your portfolio, the more goals and dreams you can achieve. The Page of Pentacles may show that you are considering a new business or entrepreneurial venture, or you are in the initial stages of setting up the company to be financially successful and abundant in the long term. You might be new to this, but you have the enthusiasm, commitment, and devotedness to see the project through. And that's what we're going to be looking to this week, experiencing, immersing ourselves in. That Page of Pentacles, that's exciting. Now we're in those court cards. So, let's integrate the 10, the experiences with the 10, with the sound of the frosted crystal singing bowl, and send out an intention for synchronicities and experiences to deepen our understanding and connection to the Page of Pentacles. You might want to close your eyes and get in touch with your breath. Beautiful. Coming back to the room. So thank you for going on this journey with me. I hope you're enjoying the experience. We're almost done. I mean, with the page, we're going into the knight, the queen, and then the king, and then we're done. So that's amazing. So 4 more weeks. And maybe probably an epilogue or some kind of closing to sort of integrate all of it. But yeah, that's so interesting. I can't believe we've been on this journey so long. Thank you for sticking it out with me. And I hope that you're experiencing, what we've intended from the start, the self-actualization, the manifestation, the alchemy, working with these archetypes and sort of understanding the process more as we move through. What's the sequence, that's intended here, and working with the elements. What is medicine for you, right? So we can call on the card and that energy when we need it. So thank you for liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. If you've watched this far, please put in the comments the little boy to represent the page, little boy emoji. That way I know that you watched this far. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to me. Thanks for commenting with your experiences. And if you want to follow me on other social media platforms or sign up for a personal session, those will be linked in the description of the video. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye, Empath.